strategy, are pet food brands truly recognizing the unique needs of cats, or are they still maybe an afterthought?
Well, the data suggests a pretty significant shift is underway. We're seeing cat owners demand more, and smart brands are listening. This deep dive will unpack exactly how.
Welcome to the Pet Food Insider, your shortcut to being well-informed about what's next in the pet food industry. I'm Signal.
And I'm Strategy.
Today, we're diving deep into clarity, cats, and customization, where pet food is headed next.
Right. Our goal today is really to equip you, the pet food brand managers in e-commerce, brand, product, insights with actionable, data-driven intelligence. We want to help you understand the key shifts happening in the cat food market so you can build a real competitive advantage, for 2025 and beyond.
And the first major shift we're seeing, it's this much stronger focus on the specific needs and preferences of cats, and tied to that, a fascinating evolution in the types of food owners are choosing.
Okay, so let's start with the sentiment among cat owners. What's the data telling us about how they actually feel?
Yeah, for quite some time now, packaged facts surveys have indicated, well, a notable level of dissatisfaction. A lot of cat owners haven't felt the market really caters to their cats compared to dogs.
Right.
This feeling of being sort of second-class citizens in the pet food world, it's been a recurring theme.
That's a powerful undercurrent, isn't it? That unmet need.
Yeah.
And it's playing out against a backdrop of a growing cat population, right?
Exactly. In the U.S., cat ownership is up. It's hit 32.1 million households in 2024, which is up from 28 million back in 2015.
Wow.
And globally, we're talking around 350 million cats. And here's something interesting. A higher percentage of cat owners have kittens compared to dog owners with puppies.
Okay.
Which suggests this upward trend is likely to continue.
So a growing market segment feels underserved. Now let's look at their actual buying habits. What's changing there?
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Dry kibbles, long reign. It's definitely being challenged for cats. Back in fall 2021, a huge 93% of U.S. cat owners used it. Fast forward to 2024, that number's down to 79%. 79. That's a big drop, a 14-point drop in, less than 3 years?
Exactly. It's substantial. It really suggests, maybe growing skepticism about dry food concerns about hydration, maybe, or just a perception of lower nutritional value compared to fresher options.
Right. It makes you wonder if traditional formulas are really meeting these evolving expectations.
Absolutely. So the question is, where are they turning instead?
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing growth across a whole range of alternatives. Wet canned food usage, up to 64% in 2024 from about 59% in 2021.
Okay, so steady growth there.
But the real momentum seems to be in categories like fresh refrigerated, that's now used by 14% of cat owners.
14%. Okay.
Raw and fresh frozen, both sitting at 10%. Freeze-dried and air-dried are nearing 9%. And toppings and mixers, they're at 26%.
26% for toppers. Interesting.
And what's really striking is that 10% of U.S. cat owners are now using customized food formulations. Food specifically tailored to their individual cat. 10% customized. Wow, that really highlights that desire for a more personalized approach. And how's this showing up in, actual sales figures?
Yeah. The Nielsen IQ data from fall 2024 backs this up strongly. For both cat and dog food, we're seeing significant growth sales dollars and units sold for fresh frozen, partial freeze-dried, 100% freeze-dried, and meal enhancers.
Significant growth across the board in alternatives.
Right. Fresh frozen, for instance, saw over 20% sales growth. And, considering overall dog food sales have been pretty flat, it's highly probable the growth within these alternative categories for cat food specifically is even more pronounced.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's break down the implications for our listeners, for the e-commerce managers out there.
Yeah.
This format shift means it's absolutely crucial to diversify your online product offerings. You need a strong presence in these growing alternative categories.
Right.
And make sure your product page content really clearly communicates the benefits for cats. Hydration from wet food, the minimal processing of fresh options, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And for brand managers, your messaging needs to evolve too. Acknowledge that historical feeling of being underserved, maybe.
Yes.
And really highlight the availability and the specific benefits of these newer cat-focused formats.
And for product managers, the data. It's sending a very clear signal. Prioritize investment in R&D, new product innovation in these expanding alternative cat food formats.
Yeah.
And definitely explore the possibilities around customized nutrition.
And finally, for our insight managers, this is a gold mine of data.
Yeah.
You need to dig deeper into why cat owners are making these switches. Is it specific health concerns driving it? Palatability issues with kibble? Understanding those underlying motivations is going to be absolutely essential moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And this whole move towards diverse formats and tailored options, it leads us right into our next key trend, the increasing demand for personalized nutrition. And tied very closely to that, a real push for greater clarity and transparency from brands.
Exactly. The idea that one single food works optimally for every single cat, that's increasingly seen as outdated. We're seeing this growing desire to tailor nutrition to the individual health needs of pets.
Right.
A prime example of this is Ollie Pets with their foodback loop.
Ah, yes, Ollie.
Yeah.
What's particularly interesting about their approach is how they're using that real-world data, right? Tell us more about that.
Well, their foodback loop, it basically revolves around collecting and analyzing pet health data shared directly by customers. Things like their cat's digestive health, skin and coat condition, their weight.
Okay, so direct feedback.
Yeah. By continuously tracking these outcomes, Ollie can then fine-tune their recipes to be more effective. They even offer personalized transition plans, including guidance on monitoring stool consistency to help cats adjust.
So it's not just personalization up front, it's an ongoing feedback loop.
Exactly. It's a data-driven feedback loop between the pet's health and the food formulation itself. It really could be the future where real-world outcomes directly influence product development.
That's a very proactive, data-informed way to do it. And this trend towards tailoring nutrition, it doesn't stop there, does it?
No, not at all. We're also seeing the emergence of some exciting new technologies, things like AI-assisted LiDAR for weight screenings, sophisticated microbiome analysis.
Microbiome analysis, right.
These offer the potential for an even more granular, really precise understanding of a pet's unique health requirements. Imagine customizing a cat's diet based on the specific makeup of their gut bacteria.
It's a huge leap from the traditional, one-size-fits-all bag of kibble. And it seems like this desire for personalized nutrition is really tightly connected to a broader demand for just more openness from brands, isn't it?
Absolutely. Michael Johnson from BSM Partners, he really nailed it when he said consumers want more truth, less marketing. Their research shows that a striking 93% of consumers believe pet product companies should be more transparent about their supply chains and production. 93%.
That's incredibly high, a huge expectation for transparency. And does this extend to the ingredients themselves?
It absolutely does. 77% want clear info on what ingredients are in the food, and 73% want to know where those ingredients come from.
Okay.
Plus, there's significant skepticism towards current pet food advertising. 79% feel it's often misleading, and over 80% believe there should be stronger regulations for honest labeling.
That level of distrust, it's a real challenge for brands, and it also points to maybe a gap in what consumers actually understand about pet food claims, doesn't it?
It really does. Johnson's data showed surprisingly low consumer understanding of common terms, like biologically appropriate. Only around 40% get that.
Only 40%.
Yeah, and even fewer understand terms like postbiotics or novel proteins.
Okay, so there's a real education piece missing, perhaps. What are the key takeaways here for our listeners then, for e-commerce managers?
Well, it underscores the critical need for incredibly clear, comprehensive product info online, detailing ingredient sources, explaining benefits in simple language that's paramount for building trust and, reducing perceived risk.
Makes sense. And for brand managers.
The message is clear. Prioritize transparent communication. Focus on genuinely educating consumers, not just marketing at them. Simplify complex claims, highlight real health benefits.
Right. And product managers, they should be looking at how data from these personalized models can inform future development, maybe.
Definitely. Are there opportunities to create products addressing specific prevalent health needs in cats? That's the question.
And finally, insight managers.
Your focus needs to be on understanding the current level of consumer comprehension. Where are the biggest gaps? How can your brand communicate more effectively to build that crucial trust?
Okay. This increasing focus on health and well-being, it brings us neatly to our final area, the growing emphasis on science-backed nutrition, especially around gut health.
Exactly. We're seeing a surge in research showing the profound impact of the gut microbiome on overall pet health. A recent ADM study published in Animals looked at the benefits of their specific postbiotic strain, Bifidobacterium longum CECT 7347.
Right, the Priomi gut health one.
That's it. Combined with soluble dietary fiber for adult cats, And just for clarity, postbiotics are, those beneficial compounds produced by good gut bacteria.
And what's interesting about this study is that it looks specifically at the impact during a dietary transition, which is often a tricky time for cat digestion, right?
That's right. It involved 24 adult cats over 28 days. One group got the postbiotic and fiber supplement, the other was a control. And importantly, both groups were switched from a lower protein to a higher protein diet midway through.
Okay, so a real-world stress test, essentially. And what were the key findings?
Well, the supplemented group showed significant improvements in intestinal permeability, basically, the gut lining integrity both before and after the diet change.
Okay, that's important.
They also showed increased levels of secretory immunoglobulin A, which indicates enhanced immune function and positive shifts in the microbiome. And interestingly, the supplemented group also had a noticeably lower fecal pH. ADM suggests this is linked to higher levels of beneficial Blautia bacteria good gut bugs.
So tangible, measurable health benefits, backed by science. How can brands really leverage findings like these?
Well, for e-commerce managers, highlighting these specific gut health benefits, communicating the science behind ingredients like postbiotics, that can be a huge differentiator online. Consumers are actively looking for this stuff.
Right, and for brand managers, incorporating the scientific validation into your messaging builds significant trust. Clearly communicating digestive health benefits resonates strongly with those health-conscious cat owners.
For product managers, this study provides really compelling evidence, exploring the inclusion of scientifically backed ingredients like this postbiotic and specific fibers. That's a major opportunity for product innovation in cat food.
And for insight managers, keep a close eye on consumer interest in gut health and related ingredients specifically for cats. This is crucial for informing future product development and marketing.
So strategy, wrapping this all up. Based on our deep dive today, what are the most critical strategic imperatives for pet food brands?
Well, signal, number one, I'd say, is to truly prioritize the cat owner. Really acknowledge that history of feeling underserved and actively cater to their specific needs and preferences, especially around food formats.
Definitely. And the data clearly shows that massive shift away from dry kibble for cats. So brands have to innovate and expand their offerings. More high-quality, wet, fresh, raw, freeze-dried, customized options. That's where the demand is heading.
Absolutely. And finally, given that strong consumer desire for transparency and the focus on health, it's crucial for brands to build trust through clear communication and science-backed formulations. Educate consumers about ingredients and benefits, especially around gut health, and steer clear of overly complex or potentially misleading marketing.
That concludes our deep dive into clarity, cats, and customization, where pet food is headed next for this edition of the Pet Food Insider.
We really hope this exploration has given you valuable insights for navigating the evolving cat food market. Understanding these trends, format shifts, personalization, clarity, science-backed health like gut health, it's going to be absolutely crucial for your brand's success.
And for those interested in digging into the full ADM study we discussed, we have put a link in our show notes for you.
Continue to analyze these shifts and really think about how they impact your strategies for 2025 and looking beyond.
Until our next briefing, I'm Signal.
And I'm Strategy. Keep leading the way in pet nutrition.